of Megger SPI225 testing a Hubble Versa trip recloser. You can see the SPI is connected to the Hubble with 2-foot cables. You can use longer cables, but then your maximum output of the SPI will be somewhat reduced. The longer the cables you have, you've used up to 10 foot. The SPI is capable of 2,000 amps max, and we can get the 2,000 with these short cables as shown here. If you don't need 2,000 and you want to use longer cables, you can, but you do need good voltage connections. Any resistance on the output reduces the capability. Let's show the settings of the recloser. The minimum trip of the recloser is 100 amps. You can see it's set 4 operations to lockout. Has the first 2 curves are very long. They're ANSI, extremely inverse, with the time multiplier 12. So those are 2 pretty long curves with 1 second recloses after them. Then we have a very short curve with a 0.25 second reclose, and then another very short curve. So let's get the SPI software up. When you log into the SPI, you'll come up with a screen like this. We're going to do the recloser testing. First thing you have to do is determine what current you want to put on the recloser for the fault condition. Since it was set at 100, I want to put 300 amps for my fault. So first thing we have to do is find what that current is. If you think of it like a wheel, from 0 to 100, if you apply a small amount, like 10% of the wheel, slightly turn, you'll see that's like 10 amps. So let's go up to 15%. That's 77. Let's go 20. That's a little bit over. Let's go to 19. That's still a little bit over. And let's go 18.5. And then, so the first time you have to kind of determine where your output needs to be to get the current you want. But you'll find if you test the same reclosers over and over at the same settings, it's pretty much becomes standard. We're going to go 18.5 if we want 300 amps all the time. So I'm going to save that as default. I also want to do a little pre-fault to help charge the electronics in the SPI. So 12% is 25 amps. I like that number. I'm going to use that as my pre-fault. I'm going to switch from this pulse mode that helps us find the current to the test mode. So I'm going to put a pre-fault on of the 12%. I'm going to do it for 20 seconds. Then I'm going to switch over to the fault. And I'm going to do that for 35 seconds, and you'll see why later. So let's go ahead and then run that. So it's going to put out 25 amps of the 12% for the 20 seconds. You can see the timer counting down. And once the 20 seconds are up, it'll switch to the 18.5%, which we know are 300 amps. So now it just switched over. Once again, these are pretty long curves on the first one. It's timing out right now. We should see a trip. There goes the trip. Gonna reclose right away. 1 second. And another timing event right now going on. Get the second trip. Then the third and fourth times were very quick, and the unit has locked out. I need to let my fault timer quit. I had picked 35 seconds. I need to let it go through the whole cycle. And then now we can see our first trip was 9.4, reclose right under a second, 9.7 right at a second, and so on. So you can see each of the times, each of the reclose times. And that is how you test a Versa trip with a SPI225.